Hey guys, it's Gunther here from Outdoorphoto, and today I would like to talk to you about this tumultuous lens that we got in from Sony.
Hey guys, let's check it out.
It is the 400 to 800 millimeter f6.3 to f8 lens. I say tumultuous because it's left me with a couple of love-hate relationship things around this lens. Some of the issues are things that you can overcome quite easily. Some of them I think are, I don't know, it might just be me. But in the end, the conclusion I'll get to right at the end. Looking at the lens and diving in directly to the build quality of it, I give it a 5-star. The weather sealing on the lens is phenomenal. The durability, everything around it, when you pick it up, it feels like you know exactly where your money went to. The focusing system is incredible. It is pretty fast. It does use the dual linear focus system in this lens, which means it's a very quick moving optical system. So for focusing, for tracking, birds in flight, whatever, it does a phenomenal job. It's got a great foot piece with a ring in it. I would have loved one of those little ball bearing things where it does make just like a little click sound when you get to specific points. But it is well marked out on the lens. So if you do need to line it up in a specific direction, it is quite easy to set up. It does come with the 2 different size foot screws for the foot piece, but 1 bushing in there, 2 screws, and your plate is secured and you've got no problems whatsoever. I prefer using a lens like this when walking around handheld, that it is at the top, so that you can use it as a handle and it's out of your way when you're supporting the lens from the bottom. Obviously, with the weight transfer being on this lens weighing in at about 2.475 grams, so let's call it 2.5 kilograms. This lens is not one of the lightest lenses, but again, the durability and the quality on it, phenomenal, and I can highly recommend it. With that, we've got all the switches and everything else that you would want and need on the side. Full-time DMF, autofocus, manual focus, focusing distance meters, and your optical stabilization. You've got your different stabilizer modes on this as well. Everything is here that you need. You've got your focus ring at the back, and then conveniently placed for holding the weight, the zoom ring is placed on the front. You've got 400 to 800 millimeters, which is quite an extensive zoom, and especially at that distance and the weight of this lens, balancing it out, you'll need to obviously have a firm grip on your camera, and then I just tuck it in right in the front. But now you have to get to that zoom, and obviously with zooms like these you have to turn and turn and turn, and every time you turn it, this thing starts shaking around and it's chaos. You can't find the bird, you can't find your subject, it just doesn't work. With this lens, it's a quarter turn. There we go, 400 millimeters, boom, 800 millimeters. It's that easy. I can do it with my thumb. So resting the camera on my hand in the front, thumb, I go to 400, I go to 800. It's that easy. I love it. I absolutely love it. Phenomenal design. The focus tips, the points or buttons that you've got, you can program them in to do whatever you want, but you can use them for focusing, you can use them for image stabilization, you can use them for cropping. There's a variety of things that you can customize these front buttons for. So the buttons, the layout, the design, love the lens hood, also durable, strong lens hood. It's got a 105 millimeter filter ring diameter in the front. So if you do want to add a filter, be it a neutral density filter, circular polarized filter, even with the circular polarized filter, it's got one of these little handy trap doors in the lens hood so that you can access that filter quite quick and easily. The button on it, the entire design around the lens and the physical design of it is phenomenal. 2.5 kilograms is a pretty big weight to carry around or hold in your arm upright if you're shooting. But if you're walking around and you're just picking it up, I mean, we've been walking through here, we've gone to Dinukeng, we shot some stuff there. I shot some sport there in bright daylight, but in the samples that I've got here, we also shot in some overcast conditions. And this is some of the problems that I'm experiencing. F8 is not a lot of light. So shooting in overcast weather or shooting right at the crack of dawn, I took the lens out, we did some birding with it, got these incredible shots. And if you look at the images, they're impeccable, they're great images. I reached a bird that would have been way too far for me to capture a decent photograph. What we as photographers do quite regularly is we can't just look at an image like that. We have to go and look at it like slap bang, stick our face into it. And as soon as you do that, especially on these megapixel monsters that Sony produces these days, you're going to see noise. So shooting in these conditions, shooting in overcast conditions, we ended up shooting at 800th of a second, f8, because that was the maximum aperture available. Image quality is sharp, but I was shooting at 12,800 ISO. And as you can see in some of these images, the image looks great. And as soon as I crop in, you see the noise just jumping out at you and you lose that sharpness. As soon as the sun started rising and we got some better daylight into the images, the image quality just improved so much. So we're going to put up some of these images and we'll show you the differences in image quality, direct sunlight, great lighting conditions, no problems. As soon as we head into darker conditions and with the ISO jumping, depending on the cameras that you're using or depending on the software that you're using these days, I mean, DxO Pure Raw has almost nullified the conversations on ISO handling, and it does improve the image quality. But this being a G series lens, the lines are absolutely blurred between the G series and the G Master series. The G Master series is obviously just that extra extent that it goes to. But the image quality out of this is phenomenal. It is really that good, and I can highly recommend this. This is a perfect fit to what Sony has to offer and the direction that Sony is going in with wildlife and birding. The one issue and snag that I also experienced is 400 to 800. Man, that's odd. That is really, it's like going to a family event with your wife and you meet her ex, or, you know, just imagine something really awkward, because that's what it felt like to me. It is, you pick it up, you don't know if it's 400, you don't know if it's 800, and you got to kind of like feel around. And because nothing extends, which I love because it's all internal, you can zoom around, nothing's going longer or shorter, which adds to the weather sealing of the lens. But I mean, you pick it up and you're not 100% sure, are you at 400? Is this the maximum zoom? Is 400, 800? It's confusing. But after I've been spending some time with the lens, you eventually get used to it. So picking it up initially, it is an odd relationship. It is 400 to 800. I've never experienced something like that on a lens. I mean, on 70 to 200, you know what's 70, you know what's 200 as soon as you pick it up and you look through it. So I do believe the more time you spend on this lens, the quicker you will be able to gauge. Picking it up, that's 400, that's 800. I've got space to zoom in or out. In terms of the optical stabilization, it does a really, really good job. But you have to take into consideration, 800 millimeters is a very long focal length to keep stable in hand. So you have to kind of chase it with your shutter speed to try and compensate. We can support it. You can put a monopod on it. You can put a tripod down. But shooting handheld, it does work for 1 or 2 shots. And then it is a 2.5 kilogram lens. Is 2.5 kilograms a problem on this? No. For the durability, for the build quality, for versatility and walking around in these bushy and forest environments looking for small little birds, this thing does the job. It definitely checks all the boxes for me. If you are going to use a support system and you want to start getting ridiculous, this thing is also compatible with the 1.4 and or the 2 times teleconverters, which means you can sit at a whopping 1,600 millimeters. It's going to be f16, but man, if you're shooting the moon, you're going to be shooting craters on the moon. And I think that's the second time around I'm going to get this thing in my hands as soon as the guys from Sony allows it. I'm definitely taking this out with a 2 times converter and I'm going to hit that moon. Unfortunately, in these conditions, we haven't been seeing a lot of moon lately. It's just been rainy weather. All in all, durability, build quality, it's G series. The weight, the balance of it is good. The build quality, once again, I keep on hitting that build quality. But again, if you take out your money on something like this, you want to feel it's a proper piece of kit. And this feels like a proper piece of kit. It being that odd 400 to 800, it is not going to be the only lens that you've got unless you are a birder. If birding is all you are worried about, this lens is for you. If you are looking to add something to your kit, I would pair this up ideally with a 300mm 2.8 or a 70 to 200. If you're looking at the converters, you can put a 1.4 extender or converter onto a 70 to 200 and you can add it on here. But if you've got it, let's say a 2x converter on a 70 to 200, puts you 140 to 400 millimeters, 400 to 800. Man, I'm talking about small birds at a great distance. You are hitting those shots. Focusing phenomenal, image quality good. It's everything you need. Guys, to get more information about this, get into contact with the go-to guys at Outdoorphoto. If you're interested in more content like this, hit like, hit subscribe on this channel and drop a comment down below. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think about this lens. Tell us if you've got one. Tell me if you think I'm talking a bunch of nonsense or if I've hit the spot. But drop us a comment and we'll check you out soon.